I'm gonna mute real quick. Okay. All right.
How did week one do you? Or you want to talk about on the call, or
You said what, Ron?
just a little small talk? I was really asking though, seriously. How were you week one? We ain't check in for.
Oh, I'm good, man. Knocking it all out. Week 2, getting into my rhythm. We're live streaming right now. What's the Line podcast? Week 2. Let me get my handy dandy notes out. All right. Here we are, week 2. Feeling sharp? How y'all boys feeling, man? 3-man weave today.
I'm ready to go. I don't know if you were swinging it to me or Keith, but that's how ready I am for week 2. I'm ready to go. So week one was pretty good. Didn't have a great 1 p.m. window, but the 4 p.m. window I closed out pretty well, and also did, all right on the Sunday night and Monday night games. But the plays I dropped in the chat didn't win, so that's kind of what matters. So hopefully we get some listeners in this week, and they can, kind of catch some of the game and the nuggets that we drop here on the call, because, obviously we don't get to put all our plays out in real time if they're kind of leading up. But most of the things after listening back to last week's pod were plays that I ended up playing. So, I'm ready to go week 2.
All right, let's get it. Keith, how you feeling, man?
I'm all right. I'm feeling good. Last week was definitely showing me a lot. I didn't go too hard, how much action I had. I definitely wanted to see a lot. But, the little bit, didn't make no 3-pointers, but got some layups in last week,
For sure. There we go. We're getting points on the board. Similar to me, same thing. I didn't go too crazy last week, but this week I'm gonna throw a few more units down, and let's start the train, baby. Let's start the train. All right. I think we're almost started. Is that me?
Not sure.
All right, let's keep it going. I don't have my earphones in. That could be a thing, but we'll see. So all right, we'll start it up. I'm gonna tweet out the line while I get y'all going. But 3, 2, and we're back. Annie Up Consulting presents What's the Line podcast. I am your host, the meticulous Mark P. Once again with our friend in Rome. Rome, how you feeling?
Ready to go week 2. Ready to stay sharp as we were in week 1.
Rome and I got the same shirt on. Love to see it. Keith, Papa Keith, how you feeling? 3-man weave today.
3-man weave. Sorry not to see Sam, man, but we're gonna keep it pushing. Week 2. Everybody's still on their feet. Nobody's knocked down. Nobody's out.
Nobody's out at all. Breaking news: there will be no Soundman special today. He's out today. Just telling me no Soundman special. What a guy! Already taking a bye week. Who knew? But let's get right into it, gents. What's the Line podcast, week 2. We're here to be sharp. We're here to make others win money and keep the train going. So first game on the board, Dolphins. Oh, no, my bad. I'm a little excited. It's a best bet of mine. The Jets, the Jets catching 6.5 right now. I liked it at 7 this morning, but I like it all the way down to 6. The Jets catching 6. I got a really strong handicap on this, so let me start off, get mine in so I can get this same gamer in. But Jets last week over 100 more yards than the Ravens when the game ended. At the halftime, it was more, I believe, over 150 yards. The Ravens had a big third quarter. 11 more first downs the Jets had over the Ravens. In week 2, I got to get to those faulty finals. Some of those games, you look at this final score, but really it was closer than the final score seemed. So, we got those. I think the Jets lowered their passing volume, a lot of passing attempts last week. We know the Browns' run D has been stout, or it was last week, but that was, with them controlling the clock for over 35 minutes. Y'all know Motivational P. This is a letdown spot for the Browns. You've been all in preparing for your former quarterback the last 2 months, Baker Mayfield. All in for that game. Coming off a crazy game winner as well. a lot of rah-rahs, a lot of, pats on the back after that. So, and then also, the Jets they didn't do well last week because they didn't do well on third down, but the Browns were one of the worst in third down conversions last year, 25th in the league. And then I'm going to fade Jacoby Brissett, bro. Rome, I know you remember we were in Vegas last year. I had Jacoby on like a 10-point teaser, and this motherfucker couldn't cover that, right? I think it was like plus 17 to plus 20 against Brady and those boys. Brissett, before last week, last 7 games started, 1-5-1 against the spread as a starter, averaging 13.2 points per game in those starts. Lastly, Browns 5-10 against the spread as home faves under Kevin Stefanski. I want to fade all of that. Give me some Joe Flacco, some Joe Cool. He's going to be able to, he's going to be able to throw the ball. We know they have issues on the outside as far as protection, but now we got a game under our belt. So that's less of a problem, I think, this week. And like I said, I want to fade Jacoby. So I like the Jets plus the 6.5, plus the 7 as well. And then also the
whoa. What's the line?
The line is 6.5. The line is
all
6.5.
right, you like them at 6.5.
However, but you may hear me on different platforms, and I already gave this out at plus 7 last night. I did the recording. So that's what I'm saying. But I also like the team total under for the Browns potentially. Well, it's at 39.5, so I'll leave that alone. But yeah, plus 6.5 Jets, best bet for me. Ron, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a double like for me, and double like obviously means I'll be playing it. Doesn't mean I'm leaning. Doesn't mean I'm just talking on the podcast. It means I also like the Jets. I was a week early, I believe, in that Jets train last week, catching 7 at home against the Ravens. I think there's a little bit different of a situation here, and then also, all the stuff that you threw in, I won't even mention. What I will mention here is, you talk about a Browns team that went into Carolina last week after, like you said, a whole offseason of preparing to beat Baker Mayfield. Got it, right? I think their obviously strength is their defensive line. But this is a Jets team that doesn't pass the ball very well. So you could expect a lot of, the only way the Jets are going to be able to stay in this game is if they play the same type of game that the Browns usually play, which is ball control, game clock, time management. I don't see a way for the Browns here to find much of a margin if the game is played that way, specifically with them also having a backup quarterback. I mean, Joe Flacco or Jacoby Brissett, who do you want right now? Give me Joe Flacco for sure. So I'll take 6.5 points. All right. I have not played it yet, so I'm not going to sit here and say 7. The line is 6.5 now. I'll take 6.5 points with the Jets. I like it. I will play it. That would be something I'm definitely looking to play here week 2. Like I said, I was early on in week 1. So week 2, I'm doubling right back to the horn. I'm taking the Jets again on the points.
All right, Keys, you got some disagreement here?
Actually, no. I don't want to be the dead horse. I wasn't as high on it as you guys. It was a lean for me. Honestly, you guys talked me into a very strong lean. I can't like the Jets, but it definitely is a very strong lean. It's more for me the very low total in the game, only 35 and 39.5. And you're basically asking this Browns team at home to cover that an entire touchdown. That's why I got to lean Jets in this situation. The Jets were pretty solid against the run last week against the Ravens. You saw Lamar Jackson not necessarily running. I don't know what that's about. And they're obviously down some running backs, but all in all, they were solid against the run last week. I don't expect them to stop the Browns rushing game by any stretch, but I do expect the Browns to do just that, rush the ball, even if they're up. Definitely covering the 6.5 is nowhere near on their list of concerns in this game. So give me the Jets with the low total.
All right, looks like is that a like from you, Keith? That was official like or a lean?
I'll go like because
right.
no one's talking crazy money with your mouth. I'll probably put some on the Jets. I'm not putting them with anything else. Just a little
right,
bit.
Yeah, that's straight. I feel that. So I feel the exact same way, Keith. So it looks like that is triple like on the Jets is a best bet. You hear from me here. You also hear from me on some other platforms as well. Hogs Haven.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this on every game. But Keys, did we just convince you to it like? Because P says triple like, but you also said you can't like the Jets. Which is it? You playing them or not?
Okay, so I said I can't. You by the end of it, you guys talk to me. I on the sheet, I'm Jets. I'm definitely Jets. Like I on this game, looking at it without hearing you guys' analysis, I was definitely Jets. You may have talked me into putting a little unit, half a unit on it, but I don't like it as much as I'm throwing it in. My 3-pointer parlays. When it gets crunch time, They're not one of those games I'm like searching out the check. Just put it in there for the money. No.
Got it.
I've seen it
Okay.
happen too many times. I mean, they could definitely come out here and just not score like it looked like they were doing last week for a good part of the game. So
All right. Next game, I'm gonna double up on you guys, gentlemen. These spreads are extremely just the same. The totals are a little off, 4 points difference, but I'm wondering which dog here, which 1 point dog here covers the spread or wins outright. The commies are catching 1 point at the Lions, total of 48.5. The Panthers are catching 1 point at the Giants, total of 44. You guys feel any way about that game? If so,
Yep.
which team would you think is going to win on the road?
Yeah, so I'm really big on ballsy Brian Dable. That's what I've named him. I was big on him prior to even getting to New York. He's coached under Bill Belichick. He's coached under Nick Saban. He has all the tools to be, efficient and quality head coach in pro football.
Hold on,
You throw in the fact.
Oh, I didn't know where you were going with this, but I just wanted to let you know the Giants are at home this week.
I know that they're laying two now. Also, the line is not 1. So I'm really sharp on this game. It's actually one of my favorite. Yeah, I like this game a lot. Laying this 2 here at home. Oftentimes people are hesitant of such small numbers. 2-1. What does that mean on a neutral? Well, I think at 2 right here, the Giants. I think they're just getting kind of disrespect on what they've been in past years. I was on them this past weekend in Tennessee. I'll be on them here again, laying points against the Panthers team. I still don't think has it together all the way. I'm not convinced Matt Rule is necessarily the answer down there in Charlotte right now. And it definitely doesn't seem like that offense has any cohesion or rhythm right now. So you can have all the stars and, playmakers that you want on the outside, that being Anderson, DJ Moore, and Christian McCaffrey. But if you can't put it together offensive line-wise, schematically, it just doesn't really make sense. So I'll take here the Giants at home laying the 2. I liked what I saw from them this past weekend. It was really just smart football, smart, tough, physical football. You give your best players the ball, that being Saquon Barkley. And they did that this past weekend in Nashville. So I see no other, type of result coming this weekend here at home, laying 2 against the Panthers team that I don't think has it all together.
Keys, your thoughts?
So I'm thinking about the original question. I definitely agree with everything Rome said. I liked it at 2. It was on the sheet at 2. So by the time this drops, if you agree with us, you might want to jump to it, get on the Giants now. But to go back to the original question, this is a tough one for me because I like the Giants and the Lions both this week. I don't really want to back either the Panthers or the commies. So gun to my head, you might just have to shoot me, brother.
Yeah. For me, quickly, I would rather catch the points with the commies or go on a roll with them. This is a team that's now, I feel like Keith and I were talking about this, but such an upgraded quarterback over the past year, the past season from Taylor Heineke to Carson Wentz, at least early year Carson Wentz. I look at them now, they rank 4th in passing. I think that the Lions, we're looking at a 12-6 against the spread record for Dan Campbell, but all of those were in dog positions. Now they're laying points at home. I get it, but I just don't think that it's that profitable to be laying points at this point, especially when a guy like Swift, who I believe is their best player, or at least top 3 for sure, has missed some time this week. I believe Jamal Williams will still get the job done, but Lions defense, they gave it up as far as running the ball and some passing. I think with a more traditional passing quarterback that the commies have in Wentz, they could kind of run it up on this defense. So I would rather catch the points with the commies or catch the 1 point. But the Giants, Brian, what'd you call him? What's his nickname?
Brian Dable.
Ballsy Brian Dable.
Ballsy Brian Dable. All right. So Ballsy Brian Dable or my looks like this season's bestie in the testy Dan Campbell. I think I would probably rock with I probably will rock with Brian Dable here as well with the Giants. So we got some agreement there because I'm not touching Panthers.
I definitely like the Giants more, but I still like the Lions this week. But yeah, that Washington pass defense was scary. It's like, oof, I'm
not laying points with the Lions. I'm just not in that business yet.
Yeah,
I'm all for betting on bad teams. Remember that. I'm the first one to rush to bet bad teams, but it's when they're catching
points.
I'm not laying.
I'm laying point with Lions, not points. Point.
All right, that's fair.
All right. Speaking of laying on the road, we got the Bucks laying 2.5 at the Saints, total of 44.5. We know how this has kind of gone the last couple of years, few years of Brady. want to go to
Love
you
it.
first,
Love it.
Rome, off that. Just let me know what you think about that.
So this is kind of, obviously most will be listening to this in retrospect in terms of what's going on Thursday night in the Chiefs-Chargers game, but it's a very similar thing. It's a division opponent that has beaten this team, or at least played very well against this team in past meetings. Well, the Saints have actually beaten the Bucs 7 of the last 7 times they played. With that said, you would expect a New Orleans team that got a win and a Bucs team that kind of didn't really have to fight much for a win. You would expect this line would either be even or Saints would be laying a little bit. Specifically at home. This Bucs -2.5 line on the road says that not only are the Bucs better than them by 2.5 points, you throw in that 3 to that Superdome and how crazy that can get. This team is 5.5 points better than the Saints. I buy it. I believe it. I don't think the Saints. It just goes back to kind of how I believe these lines are scripted and made. I mean, you got a team that's beaten the other team 7 times out of the past 7 times, and they're still catching points. That doesn't make sense. Okay, books don't give you points, and they definitely don't give you hooks for free. I'll lay it on the road with the Bucs, and I can die on that hill.
Keith,
it is just a lean for me, though. Let me just make that clear. It's just a lean for me right
now. Anytime I can get a chance to rationally fade Brady, I'm probably going to do it. Just throwing that out there. So with that being said, Rome laid my case out perfectly. They always beat them. I'm going to bet on them to continue beating them. The one thing that does worry me about this game, though, is that the Saints was having trouble stopping the run last week. And if anything, we know this banged up Bucs team is going to try to establish one early and often. Short pass game, get their running backs involved in the pass game. I don't know if the Saints this year are built to stop that. They didn't show it last week. It's a tough game to try to bounce back from that. But history is proving itself. Like they have Brady's number. If someone has to have his number, and I'm gonna ride the trend. It is just a lean with me too. But home dog. I'm gonna ride with the home dog in the division.
Yep, complete stay away from me. I just don't. I can't fade it. I'm not confident on either side. I talked about New Orleans against mobile quarterbacks, but they do well against these traditional quarterbacks like Brady. So I'm going to let that be. Next game or games. AFC matchups. We got the Patriots now. Looks like they're laying 1, almost 2, 1 in the hook at the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then we also got the Colts laying 4 in division at the Jaguars. I'll start with me here. I kind of like, as far as who I would rather lay it with, I think the Patriots would be the option here for me. Although they look god awful last week, for me as someone who had the Patriots plus 3.5 as their best bet. A lot of that was like a faulty final, just in the fact that Tua and that offense didn't look great, at least not to me as someone who was watching it closely. There was just a lot of turnovers, 3 fumbles out of Patriots, another interception in the end zone. One of those fumbles went for a touchdown recovery. It's hard to bounce back from that. It's hard to win that way. So I think that, in a position this way where they're out of that, not going into Miami, but going against a Pittsburgh team that they've had a ton of success against, or Bill Belichick has against Mike Tomlin. I think that there's some value here in a Patriots team that we know that usually the extension of the first few weeks is the extension of the offseason. They don't want to go down 0-2 in a division with the Patriots. I mean, not the Patriots, but the Bills and possibly a good Dolphins team. So I think the Steelers here, missing TJ Watt. I think the Patriots could possibly get it done here. And I'd rather catch the points with the Jaguars because I think this Colts team, I don't know. I think they're just a little bit of a mirage. So as far as who I'd rather lay it with is the Patriots. But out of the two, I think I'd rather catch the points with the Jaguars because I'm not – the Patriots offense, I was not impressed. So, I'd rather catch the points with the Jaguars. Rome, what do you think?
Yeah, so let me just, obviously we're trying to do the double up here, but I have another angle on this game, on this Patriots Steelers game, and this is the under. Obviously we saw what the Steelers defense was able to do this past weekend up there in Cincinnati, but at the end of the day, that game ended up going over. It was really just good field position, and Mitch Trubisky didn't actually have to go out there and play football. I think Bill Belichick knows Mitch Trubisky in the sense of, he's not the best quarterback, obviously, in that division. And I wouldn't even say he's the second best quarterback. So You got an opportunity here to right your wrongs as to what you did week one. We know how the Patriots have used the first few weeks of the season as an extension of the offseason, kind of get those role players involved. I don't think they have that luxury this year, specifically with the Dolphins already up in the division. So I think they show up and play good ball on defense, specifically on the road. Going back to the Patriots offense, though, they don't have any playmakers on the outside. That's just what it is. Mac Jones can make all the check down reads all you want, but if you got a team in Buffalo and a team in Miami and that division that can score, not at will, but with weapons on the outside, you're set back a bit. And this is a Patriots offense that struggled last year at times, and obviously the year prior with Cam Newton. So I see much of the same in this game here, and honestly going forward throughout the season. There's a reason this total is 40.5. It's the lowest total on the board this week as of right now. Seahawks are at 41 against the Niners, but I mean this is at 40.5, and I would be more privy to take under here. Specifically, like I said, on the Steelers team that doesn't have a great offense behind Mitch Trubisky, and the Patriots offense is still trying to find its way with the defense coordinator calling the plays in Matt Patricia. Give me the under 40.5.
Yeah, I think a prop here. There's a Mitch Trubisky over 0.5 interceptions as well, plus money. You may go find that. I think that's a pretty good prop as well.
Plus money on Mitch to throw a pick?
No, I'm saying if it is plus money, I think that's a lot of value. But you probably have to lay a little lumber. But they're going to have to win this game or try to win defensively by confusing Trubisky. That's what Belichick does, and they'll go from there. So I like that prop bet if it's out there. All right, this is a marquee game I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit deeper. But the Dolphins are at the Ravens. Ravens are laying 3.5. I talked about the Dolphins already, just in my last soliloquy. Total of 44.5. Look ahead was Ravens -4. So it's about the same, down to 3.5. Some money coming in on the Dolphins. Keith, what do you think about this game?
Ravens Dolphins. I gotta lean with the road team, the Dolphins catching the 3.5 points. It's a nasty 3.5 for the Ravens. They covered last week against the Jets, but if you were tuned into that game, it was not the prettiest thing. They had a long ball to Bateman. I think that might have been his only catch in the entire game. The standout star Duvernay had 2 touchdowns, but he also only had 4 catches in that game. And I touched on it earlier. Lamar Jackson, I think he may not run the ball this year. I'm looking at it. I think, with everything.
Why would he?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Why would he? It's like, duh. But with everything going on with the contract negotiations, I think where possible, he's going to try to, preserve his body. And I don't necessarily like that for the Ravens. They were able to squeak past last week, but I mean, it was the Jets. The Jets looked like the Jets. And, for all intents and purposes, the Ravens look like the Ravens against the Jets. But yeah. I feel like this is going to be I think this is really week 1 for them against the Dolphins team who played a tough game last week. And I didn't hate what I saw from the Dolphins offense last week. The things I was looking for was definitely happening. They were giving the ball to their playmakers, something that I was questioning if they were actually going to do. I like the Dolphins here, but it's definitely just a lean for me. I hate betting against Lamar. I hope he starts running again.
Yeah, I don't. Before you go, Rome, it's a lean for me either way. I would probably lean on the actual under because, like I said, both offenses I didn't see too much out of. But I just think that this Ravens team, I don't know if they're going to run the ball. That's why I was a little questionable about them last week. I think we all mentioned that we would probably rather catch that 7 with the Jets last week against the Ravens at one point. But I am unsure about little stuff like that. They keep continuing to talk about his contract, and there has been some money to come in on the Dolphins. So I would probably lean with the Ravens at home, considering I like their home field advantage. But so early in the year where it's not really cold outside or anything like that, I could just lean that way. But I'm so interested in this game, especially since Lamar's been a starting quarterback. 20-15 against the spread non-division games during that span, 19-14-1 against the spread after a win. But this team is not running the ball. They're 30th in rushing yards per game right now. And
come on, it's week 1.
I get it. But usually after week 1, Rome, they're top 3. So it's like, you go from top 3 to 30. I'm just like, well, if your running backs aren't healthy, well, maybe I see like J.K. Dobbins is potentially going to play this week. But coming off that injury, Lamar possibly not running because he wants to preserve himself for a contract. It's kind of like, well, who am I getting week to week? So I'm a little unsure, and that's why I only can lean with the Ravens, although I wanted to back them and fade these Dolphins, but I could just lean. Ron, what do you think, though?
I'm not touching this game. Just leave it at that.
All right. Next game I thought was interesting. Bengals are laying 7 at the Cowboys, total 41.5. Bengals 17-13-1 against the spread after a loss under head coach Zach Taylor. Cowboys, huh? Cowboys.
This line, it just stinks.
Yeah. Cowboys 8-3 against the spread as a home dog since 2016. However, that's under Dak Prescott pretty much. But yeah, interesting game. Up went from 7.5 down to 7. Ron, what you think about this one?
This line just stinks. I think this is a 3:20. Eastern time, 4:25 kick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not only does the line stink, but this will be one of those games that people chase, right? You know, the first window doesn't go your way. You bounce back in the second window. You say, "Oh, Cooper Rush is playing. Bengals -7." Most people, you know, we still haven't convinced people to bet spreads yet, but Bengals -7 here. And, you know, you're like, Bengals should beat the Cowboys on it. I'm not coming close to this game. I said that about the Vikings game last week that I did end up touching. But I touched the total on that game. I'm not laying 7 here. And what I do think could be a possibility here is the under again. I mean, we talk about a Bucs team in week 1 last week that go on the road in Dallas, they get the win, sure, but did they look sharp necessarily on offense? A big throw to Julio, a couple flags downfield, and next thing you know, you're in scoring position. Bengals on the converse side, they couldn't throw the ball to anybody other than Jamar Chase last weekend. And I don't think he's not going to be the focal point of that offense. I think, you know, that's exactly who the Cowboys are going to get keyed in. Burrow hasn't looked as slippery and smooth in the pocket as he once did last year. Only one game, obviously, to take in that observation. But I mean, D Lawrence that seems to be pretty in shape and back and healthy for the Cowboys coming after him, and then also, you know, an offense on the Cowboys side that probably won't be able to get much going with Cooper Rush. So I like the under the points here, and like I said, I'm not coming close to touching these sides, and I won't be going back on that one. This line's also at 41.5. I doubt 2 lines with the same total at 41.5 go under. This being this one and that Patriots game. So I'll keep an eye on this, but as of now, I really don't want to touch this game.
Yeah, I think I like the under as well, considering the fact that, you know, both teams have to keep making adjustments week by week. Possibly no T. Higgins this week for the Bengals. You know, the Cowboys, we obviously know what they're dealing with the new receivers and now the Cooper Rush thing, offensive linemen in and out. So I think the under definitely has some value. With me, though, I would probably lean with the Bengals. I would probably lean with the Cowboys, considering they're at home and this line is going down from 7.5 to 7. I mean, if you're the defending AFC champions, you would think there's a little more respect when you're going up against a backup quarterback. But the line is just 7, and it's not enough for me to like sit there and be like, oh, I have to bet this team, because they're still dealing with a lot of adjustments themselves. So I like the under to kind of meet there in the middle. What's up, bro?
Yeah, one last thing on this game. You know, I was listening to some respected sports handicappers as well out there, and they were mentioning, you know, the Bengals are a team that, you know, when they do show flashes, as they did last year, flash, that being a huge flash going all the way to Super Bowl, right? When they do have these super, super productive, or in the context of the Bengals, really good seasons, they tend to regress at a very high pace in the following years, specifically that very next year. We go back to the years with Carson Palmer. We go back to the years with Andy Dalton. At no point were they able to string along 2, 3 AFC championships or you know, playoff berths. We go back to that Antonio Brown Vontaze Burfict hit. Was that not a wild card game? So you know, this Bengals team, they aren't often in the mix, and I think they're not accustomed to winning. There's something about an organization that obviously is accustomed to winning and knows how to win. I'm not sure they know how to do that yet. Obviously, we saw how Joe Burrow came out last week 1. You had all offseason. You had one opponent, divisional opponent. You played him 2 times last year. You've seen him 3 times in your career, and you come out as flat as you did at home. So this is a young team still. I think people are obviously going to be high on them, but I would not be, privy to run to the counter and bet Bengals -7 or Bengals laying anything really until I see some value on them or see some production from them.
All right, Keith, thoughts?
I'm staying away from this one. I had a slight lean with the Cowboys just because, the look ahead was 2.5. Obviously, that's before Dak Prescott got hurt. And it moved to, an entire 10 points. I don't know. That seems like a lot for me. I don't know if Dak Prescott is like a 10-point quarterback. I don't know.
There's no 10-point quarterback out there, but that was obviously an overreaction. That was the line jumping on the injury and then overreaction public money. And that's one thing I think it's a perfect segue, Keith, into what we're seeing a lot of in the market now. Because there's so much recreational betting and everybody's getting action. Everybody has a parlay or some big money out there. Some of these lines are getting skewed when they're already moving. You have to be able to say, okay, Dak Prescott is hurt. Line was 2.5. Line gets any higher than 7.5, 8. That's public money. That's an overreaction. There's value there. You see how it's regressed back down to 7 now. I think that's the sharps getting that line right back to where it needs to be. And I just wanted to mention that in terms of lines and how lines are being.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it in terms of just like, I don't know if Dak Prescott himself is like worth that. And without even moving past 7, like that much. But it could just be an indictment on Cooper Rush being that bad, which honestly I can also agree with. So I'm just like you guys said, I'm not going to beat the dead horse. I'm not rushing to bet the Bengals with the flat 7 on the road here. It's so easy to just stay away.
All right, before I get into the triple, all right. Oh, there we go. Seahawks at 49ers. 49ers laying 9. I don't got too much for this. I don't want to back either team right now. You guys, got anything for this game?
I'd lay it before I catch it. That's all that I got for it.
For sure. I honestly had to convince myself it was a like on the Seahawks blind, just like, no way, Trey Lance -8.5 against any NFL team. Like, give me the other team.
Especially after how good Geno looked this past weekend, and now they're still catching 9. Get out of here. Mm-hmm. I'll lay it before I catch it.
They didn't look good in the second half, so I can understand that. But I do know Trey Lance, and they did lay about 10.5 last year around sometime, and they won by 13. I think I looked up today. So, 49ers 8-15-1 against the spread as a home fave under head coach Kyle Shanahan. I cannot lay that in division, just too much with a quarterback that I am unsure of. But this may be the week that they shine bright. But also they're missing their starting running back now. I just can't fade it. I cannot.
Elijah Mitchell, who cares? Running backs are replaceable. They mean nothing on the line. They really don't mean much in that plug-and-play San Francisco offense that's been proven to be able to plug-and-play running backs. If you had to pick it, would you lay it or would you catch it here? P.
Catch it.
Okay. All right. Next game.
Catch it for sure. All right. Next game. Well, this is who would you rather lay the double digits with at home, gentlemen? We got the Rams laying 11 against the Falcons. We got the Broncos laying 10 against the Texans. And we also have the Pack Attack laying 11 against the Bears in division. Keith, start with you. Who would you rather lay this double digits with at home?
It's definitely between the Rams and the Packers for me if I had to pick one. And I thought I'd probably lean the Packers simply because like my analysis on this and just like them entering the year was exactly what we saw. They're going to start slow. They're going to be an overreaction. They're going to have a big game. There's going to be an overreaction. They're going to get to the playoffs and they're going to get knocked out in the first round. We've seen this Packer teams be just this for the entire, for literally maybe a decade plus now. This is the perfect bounce back spot. Is Aaron Rodgers against the Bears. Literally, without this Bears organization, Aaron Rodgers might be Carmelo Anthony out here. Just be honest. Not probably better than Carmelo, but you get what I'm saying. Like, that's all his playoff success. His big runs is all against the Bears. Like, he loves playing the Bears. If I had to pick one, give me the Packers here. But I wouldn't mind it. I thought it was at 10, 11. That's getting a lot up there with the Rams, Falcons. I don't know what the difference between 10 and 11 is in actuality, but yeah, I'm gonna pick Packers.
Yeah, it's definitely Packers for me. The Packers, let me give these stats. So the Packers, after a loss under Aaron Rodgers, they are 45-30-1 against the spread. After a loss, so versus the Bears after a loss, the Packers are 9-0 against the spread. I know Rome, you might want to fade that one. But yeah, this Bears team, I'm very unsure of. I mean, still last week, like, I mean, I just don't think Fields. I can't back him. I think the defense is bad. And I think the Packers. This is kind of where you can make a statement. In your home place, and we give this is a full 3 for their home field. We're saying they're about a touchdown better, a touchdown, an extra and a 2-point. I think the Packers are that better. I think they definitely win by the double digits. There's no way I can lay it with the Broncos as they're still adjusting, or the Rams as they're trying to, coming off that Super Bowl hangover. I do think all teams should win, but just laying these double digits, I got to go with the Packers, who traditionally have done it with Aaron Rodgers. Rome, what'd you think?
I don't handicap lines. I don't handicap lines. I don't focus or give much attention to lines greater than 7.5. So I don't have much for this game.
All right, but who would you lay it with?
I mean, what are my options? Packers?
You can lay 11 with the Rams. You can lay 11 with the Packers, or lay 10 with the Broncos.
I'll lay 10 with the Broncos. But going back to the Packers, I mean, we talk about a total at 42.5, total at 11, right? What is this, 31-10? How do you cover that margin with such a low total? So, I mean, we saw that Bears offense. They were not good. They won that game, and they were not good. They were not the better team that day either. But who knows, Bad.
That game out, that completely.
Yeah, I mean, that game was wicked, but I mean, we have more history on that Bears offense, even going into
last year. And I mean, throw it out. Okay, cool. So we go back to our last, data point, and that's last year, and they were not good then. They have not been able to, find weapons on the outside that can obviously produce at a professional level consistently yet. I'm not convinced in Mooney, splash play type of player. They love him in that organization, but I'm not convinced. So I just. The Bears are just a can't get right big city team that I'm just not willing to back.
Is any of us laying 6
no.
in the first half? The first half -6?
No, because this is, I mean, and I don't want to, we have a friend in common that loves to bet first halves, right? And he thinks, I'll bet the first half and I'm out of there. Well, it's there's no easy out in sports handicapping, all right? There's no, they're favored by 6. Oh, they'll be up by a touchdown and a half. The only team that does that consistently is the University of Alabama Roll Tide. Okay, so there's no other teams out there that just cover halftime spreads, but then don't cover the full game. You're either on the right side or you're not. And when you're betting first halves, you're not.
I mean, I can't agree with that. Not with double digits. I think there's a difference when you talk double digits. We're talking about a 6-point spread. Yeah, but how about this?
If you're going to be up double digits and the total is, let's just go with the Packers, right? 42.5. And the total's double digits, right? So you need to be up a touchdown at half. That 11 is not going to be 5.5. It's going to be 6. So you need to be up a touchdown at half, right? Or are you going to shut out the Bears? Because the total has to match the spread
in the first half, right? Yeah. No, I get it.
I don't think the Bears can get 6 points themselves. So now you need a touchdown more. So what's a touchdown more than 6? Okay, you're at 14-6. That's 20 points in the first half. Total is 42.5. That's kind of real close. Right. Yeah, sounds right. But I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to?
I mean, the math is mapping to me, bro.
I mean, but I think sometimes though, like we just have to take a step back, Rom, and games like this in particular, where you're laying double digits. We know that you could be up 14 to 21 late or 20 late, and some bullshit happens. Your defense lays back, whatever. But in this particular instance, and I'm not sure about. I'm not saying I want to lay the 6 points. With the Packers, considering that all the changes that they have to go through. However, we just talked about this Bears offense, and literally, like it's not one that just is comparable. Like in my opinion,
not. But neither is the Packers, and I think that's what everyone's blinded by. I think everybody's going to see, and this is now we're talking football. We're not even talking lines. That Packers offense is not going to be what it has been. Right. Randall Cobb, Allen Lazard, and some rookies. Name the tight end. Okay, we can go back to Jermichael Finley, who barely played because he was
coming off the injury. He when we last saw him healthy. Don't play Tony. You don't have to catch a stray. We don't have to go there. Be nice. We don't have to.
Who about Lazard?
Tanya. Come on now.
That's my guy. But at the end of the day, that's probably Aaron Rodgers' best friend right now. And there's no continuity on that offense. They've changed who they are. When they let go of D. Adams, they subsequently said, we are going to change the fabric of this offense. You got AJ Dillon in the backfield. You got Aaron Jones. Those are the stars of that offense. They're going to ask a big-time quarterback to make some plays and splash plays here and there. But this isn't going to be that Aaron Rodgers 42 attempts per game offense. They don't have the weapons. They simply cannot do it. That's why you're looking at a total of 42 points.
It's fair, and it is supposed to be more of a ground and pound, type of time this year.
That's who they're going to be.
No doubt, no doubt. So yeah, I agree. I probably would not lay that 6 points there in that first half. Last game on the board though, as we transition from Davante Adams, let's talk about him.
Hey,
the Raiders are laying 5.5 at home versus the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals. Total of 51.5. Let me give some stats. Cardinals, 13-4-2 against the spread.
Oh, I love it.
We know all the NFC West and the AFC North under the current regimes, all 56% or greater against the spread. Raiders 8-14 against the spread as a home fave since 2014. That is since Derek Carr's been draft. And yeah, I'll start with me. I got a like on the Cardinals plus 5.5. It was at plus 6.
Chicken sandwich bet.
Sure things. Oh, at 5.5?
Yep, 5.5. I'm laying it. Chicken sandwich bet. Give me that.
Yeah, 5.5.
Oh my God.
You got it. Come on, let's do it.
There we
5.5. There it is. See, I like the Cardinals.
I'll take the Raiders.
I know it's a tough spot considering that they don't have D Hopkins, right? And then I thought about it today. I'm like, well,
they
didn't have D Hopkins when they started this trend of,
right. They have all last year.
They had to go out and trade for him, right? And they didn't have him all last year either when they were covering spreads. I just think this is a great opportunity. I think this is like a 3.5 point spread. Cardinals, we know what they could do on the road, but I think they just get embarrassed last week, right? And it's hard to stay in the game with a Patrick Mahomes, the Travis Kelce's. So you're going from filet mignon to
Wagyu.
I don't know which
Wagyu.
I'm sorry. I don't hamburger help. I don't know. I don't really eat red meat. However, I'm just saying Mahomes, Kelce, the effect, the offense, the greatness, everything was just in sync, right? Well-oiled machine. Now, week 2, you're going against an offense that's still trying to figure it out. The Raiders are 29th in rushing yards per game. They got to try to figure that out. They, 17 targets to Davante Adams. Do you want to lower that? Do you want to keep that? Where's Waller going to fit? Where's Renfro going to fit? I just think it's a lot. And the Cardinals are just going to come in here and try to keep this game close. And I see a 3-point game, 3.5. And I can see Cardinals possibly winning this game outright. So I'll take the Cardinals plus the 5.5.
Okay.
Let me hear it.
I just wanted to hand over to the first Raiders fan on this podcast. I also am a Raiders fan, kind of, sort of.
Oh, the fan. All right. Okay. So
I want to send it over to the.
I'm not gonna lie. I came dripped out in the Raiders gear. I actually had a lead on the Cardinals here. I felt like that line was way too high for us.
Oh my God! I sent it to the wrong person.
It's just like we win close games, bro. That's what we do. We win close games. Dude, this is just like a little too many points for a Raiders team that I say how fluky the Bengals run was, but we had an even flukier run just to make the playoffs. So talk about teams, but I'm not gonna lie. As much the way P just laid out his conversation, his case, and the way you were so heavy on the Raiders, man, I'm not gonna lie. I might have to lean like Raiders. I'm putting it on there. I wish Soundman was here to like Kyler Murray so I can get my chicken sandwich as well. But I don't know. Don't listen to me, you guys. Listeners, please be more responsible in this. I don't know.
Great. I love the Raiders this weekend, and I'll give you context as to why. All right. Raiders, last week, will we say they look good? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Raiders?
Yep. Did they look good collectively? Offensive, defensive, and special teams. Did they look good? Yes or no?
No.
No. Got it. No. In division, didn't look good. Okay. Chargers did what they wanted to do, basically offensively. Raiders didn't look sharp. Cardinals, did they look good last week? Yes or no?
Hell no.
No. Great. 2 teams that did not look good last week in week 1. Cardinals we could argue, was the better team last year for the most part, right?
Did they make
they were better.
Yeah, they made the playoffs. They made it. Yeah.
So
they were better.
So they were the better team last year, and here we are. two teams that put on a shit show week one, and one team that's catching the points is catching 5.5 on the road against a team last year that they were, better than. Not too many dramatic changes offensively or defensively on the rosters. Nobody's significantly more hurt. Devontae Adams isn't worth 3 points on the line. So why are the Raiders laying 5.5?
That's what I was saying. That's what I couldn't
That
do.
hey, look, Brian Winter. That's what you need to. Why are the Raiders laying 5.5? That line doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. It's the same way the Titans and Giants line at 5.5 last week did not make sense. The number one team in the AFC versus a team who had 4 wins last year. Giants went outright. So you got a team
that
last.
made sense to me though.
What's that?
It seemed like that Titans Giants game. I'm not seeing the correlate. That line made sense. Like when you think of like
the number one seed in the AFC was laying 5.5 at home against a team that had 4 wins last year. That line made sense to you?
You think it should have been higher?
If the Titans were going to cover, if the Titans were right side, yes, they did. Which is why I played the Giants.
What about this team? Because we were not the number one. Obviously, that was the Titans.
Right. That's exactly
we were barely making it.
Both teams looked bad last week, right? So that's an even, right? Even. Both teams looked bad last week. So we go back to our last data point. Last year, who was the better team? The Cardinals. We just said that, right? And the Cardinals are catching 5.5. This is the 5.5 that covers. Not the number one seed playing the 4-win team from last year. This is the 5.5 line that covers. I'm laying it with the Raiders. I'll take a chicken sandwich bet. This is also one of my best bets for the week.
I'm going to be rooting for you to win, but I just don't see it. I don't see it.
It's cool. Right. You don't have to.
There it is. All right, before we get out of here, best bets. Rome already gave mine Jets plus 6.5. You're saying your best bet is?
The only best bet that I have right now on Thursday evening as we record this podcast is the Raiders.
Our best bets in the Discord. Oh, by the way, that's
in the Discord. But it is the Raiders laying 5.5. That's all that I have as of Thursday.
Oh, so I'm going against Rome's best bet. Chicken sandwich. All right, Keith, you got a best bet for me?
I'm gonna go with the under in the Jets-Browns game. 39.5. I know it's low, but come on now. This is gonna be some old school football we're seeing, man. It's like, let me get the under. And if they go over, it's like, that's crazy. Like, that's a bet that is like, it doesn't matter what happened. You're gonna feel like, man, I was on the right side of that. Like that was
for sure. I got another play as well, but it's a total, and I won't get that out in the pod, but I'll drop that in the Discord exclusively. But yeah, teaser picks, gentlemen. I guess I will start with me. Let me get the shit. This is a lot. Oh, give me the Packers. Well, I'll take them to -5. And the last one is give me that the under in the Jets Browns. I'll go take it to 45.5, under 45.5 Jets Browns.
Love that.
Yeah, the 5 for the Packers is -5.
Wait, I always ask 5 or 6 point we going?
6 point.
Okay. All right. Let me get. I literally just had them in my head. Okay, let me tease the Bengals down to -1. That sounds a little better for me. Like literally just beat Cooper Rush. Like,
yep.
Can we do that? And then I actually want to tease the Steelers up to +8 at home. Bring that Black Force energy. Don't go out like that.
All right, Rome, tease me pick. What you got?
Yeah, I'll tease your best bet on the Jets up, and I'll tease my Raiders down across the 0 line.
Nice.
It's still a money line bet at that point. It's that point.
It's +0.5 point. Plus the tie would win. The tie would win. Respect. All right.
It's a money line bet. I still gotta win.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. No Soundman special this week. He had a bye week this week, so we'll see him later. Back again. I'll be back Sunday, Monday. We'll just be dropping out here. We're here every day of the week. Andy Up Consulting. What's the Line podcast? Brought to you by anothergreatadventure.com. See you week 3, best bets and teasers. And yeah, we'll give you more in the Discord. So holla at us.